Welcome back to the finale of What If Padme Was a Jedi. Thank you to those of you who watched either of the other parts. To recap what happened in those episodes in the event you haven't seen them, after battling for Padme and Anakin, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan had trained them in the Jedi arts. But after an unexpected encounter with a revived Maul on Dathomir, the Jedi are in pursuit of Jango Fett. This led Obi-Wan managing to gain and use the Darksaber to lure the bounty hunter, when they find that neither Dooku nor Maul had been the Sith Masters. With the revelation dawning upon the Jedi Council, Yoda regards the situation to be one of a state of emergency, and dispatches a large number of Jedi to track down the real Sith. As Qui-Gon and Anakin venture to Kamino to find more about the clone army, Obi-Wan and Padme dispatch to Dathomir to try and extract the identity of the Sith from Maul. Arriving on the home of the Night Sisters again, waiting for them was Talzin, who did not share quite the same hatred to the Jedi as Maul, and guided them to her lair, where Maul was seated. Before the Zabrak could lash out, Talzin placed Maul under her control, and he revealed to them all who the real Sith was, in Supreme Chancellor Palpatine. The worst fears for the Jedi have been realised, and Obi-Wan goes back to the ship to inform the Jedi Council of this development. Yoda and Mace Windu are aware that Palpatine's route into the Republic could be impossible for the Jedi to trace, but first they had to eliminate him. Obi-Wan rushes back to the Night Sister village, but looking for Padme, he sees her under the spell of Talzin. Obi-Wan sees a wave of Night Sister magic flying towards him, and leaping out of the way, he quickly informs Qui-Gon and Anakin of what had happened to Padme, before being surrounded by the entire clan of Night Sisters, and concedes his lightsaber. On Kamino, the Jedi had been given a guided tour by the Kaminoans of the facility, when they received a desperate plea for help from Obi-Wan. The Jedi ran back to their ship, but on the platform, they are met by Count Dooku. The Sith apprentice asked Qui-Gon to understand his plans to destroy the Sith, but the Jedi Master refused, and the former Master and Padawan began to duel. Anakin looked for a way to intervene, and leaping onto the ship, he used his piloting skills to fire at Dooku, collapsing the platform. Leaving Dooku in the waves, Qui-Gon jumped into their ship and they set course for Dathomir, hoping to rescue the other Jedi. Anakin felt a simmering rage at the thought of Padme being controlled, and running out of the ship, he violently force-pushed all of the incoming attackers, as Qui-Gon knocked over a cauldron of Night Sister magic to stop Padme's ritual. Returning to her normal self, the Jedi Knight summoned her blade, and they all managed to push their way past Talzin's reinforcements to free Obi-Wan. The cries of anger from the opposition are soon drowned out by the wash of wind over them, as Dooku had survived a fall on Kamino and tracked Qui-Gon and Anakin's ship. Attempting to run at the escaping Jedi, he is blocked by Maul and Talzin, who had not forgiven the Sith for their betrayal, and the Jedi are free to leave. The Jedi cannot arrive on Coruscant fast enough for their liking, as news of Dooku's encounter with the Night Sisters had reached the ears of Palpatine, and he immediately sought to leave to smooth matters over in the Senate. But as he began his descent down the turbolift, he is rocked by a detonation from above, sending him hurtling to the ground. Stopping his fall with the Force, he finds that he is surrounded by multiple Jedi Council members, as Padme points her blade at the Sith Lord, claiming that his regime had been exposed. The Sith Lord inwardly scowled at the failure to kill Maul, and as Masterminded revealed that the entire planet of Dathomir had been decimated along with its inhabitants, Palpatine made a move to the power grid. The Jedi are wary of chasing him, knowing Palpatine would be inflicting an immensely powerful blast, so Sazi Tin led a squadron of Jedi starfighters above the ground to trap Palpatine. The Sith was not put off by the Jedi's new plan, and unleashing a mighty roar, he used the power generator to enhance a hate-fueled explosion. The entire galactic city descended into darkness, and the buildings within the radius of the blast had been flattened as Padme got to her feet. Anakin beside her had also coughed and spluttered back into life, and whilst he cleared the debris to free the other Jedi, Padme looked for any sign of Palpatine. The Jedi Knight hurled the debris to the epicenter of the blast, and there was only the presence of a putrid green liquid pouring from the nearby fuel refinery. The dark side had vanished, and returning to the Jedi Temple, Anakin and the healers began to revive the Jedi, then help rebuild Coruscant. The Jedi Order is eventually restored to its former glory, and Qui-Gon knew it had been right to push the Council into training Padme in the ways of the Force. That is it for What If Padme Was a Jedi. If you enjoyed this What If, please like this video, turn on the notification bell, click that subscribe button on this channel, as well as on my other channel What If Films. And as always, leave a comment on what motif you'd all like to see next, and how I can improve my videos. Thank you all very much for watching, and see you next time.